Hello. I was editing this podcast when I realized we never explained our strange behavior at the beginning. Yeah, it was, I think, 20 degrees with wind chill making it feel like 10 degrees when we left the theater. Yeah, and it was a slightly long walk to the car. That should explain everything you're about to see.
Wipe the tears away. Wipe. Wipey, wipey.
Well, that was a movie.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to First Thoughts. I'm Simon. This is Justin. Do the ASMR version. Hello. Today we're giving our first thoughts on Song Sung Blue, which is the new biopic about a Neil Diamond impersonator. Yep. Mike, don't remember his last name. Thunder and Lightning, or Lightning and Thunder, were a Neil Diamond tribute band. In this movie, they are played by Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson, and it was written and directed by somebody, I'm sure. Anyway, so yeah, if you haven't seen this trailer, I already told you the plot. That's the movie. It was a movie, I guess. It had, it had a beginning, it had a middle, and it had an end. Justin, what did you think of this wonderful film we just saw?
It sure sounds like I enjoyed it more than you. How much? I don't know. But I have no idea how accurate it is.
No.
And I saw something telling me that it might not be very accurate. But we'll have to look at that in spoilers. I was mostly okay with this movie. I thought it was solid. I enjoyed some of the performances. There were various parts I could have done without, but I guess that's maybe their story, and I guess you can't totally eliminate those parts. I don't know.
Sure.
It was better than I expected, but I had my expectations set to rock bottom. I don't know if it's on the same level as like the 3 other movies we've reviewed today.
No. I've seen a lot of good movies this week. This wasn't one of them. I didn't hate it or anything. I am just almost entirely indifferent to it. And maybe it's because I don't care about the subject matter.
Yeah.
Because I thought Kate Hudson was great. I thought Hugh Jackman had his moments.
Yeah.
I thought Belushi had no idea what movie he was in. He was acting very differently than everybody else. I don't know. I don't. It gets to a point. We're going to run out of people to make biopics about.
No, we're not.
So we're going to start making movies about making biopics.
Yes.
We're going to have a movie about the Walk the Line movie starring Joaquin Phoenix. And you know what we're going to call it? Joaquin the Line. And I'm so excited for that day.
Can't wait for you to make it.
Why do we care? I'm sorry. If somebody's a really big fan of Lightning and Thunder.
Hey, they're big in Milwaukee.
Cool.
They opened for Pearl Jam.
Cool.
They that's about the best I got, actually. Yeah.
Cool. I'm glad they were semi-successful, it appears.
Yeah.
I just didn't care. And this movie was so formulaic and so boring that even if there was anything interesting about the story, it made it so bland I couldn't get invested anyway.
Yeah, we're going to have different scores, probably.
I'm going to give it a 5 just because I'm completely indifferent to it.
I was going to give it a 6. Okay, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I don't think it was terrible. I just didn't care at all.
Yeah, that's how I feel about a lot of, like, regular people's lives who, like, I don't know about and get dropped into them.
I don't care.
This at least had some music I recognized to keep me entertained.
I recognized like 4 songs.
Yeah, and then
and they sang
and a
few of them like 5 times.
I was kind of interested in their journey. I think it helped that they're historic, and I always love to go back later and try to figure out what's real and what's not.
Sure. I love a good biography. That's like all I read.
Yeah.
Or biographies. I love hearing true stories. But I usually pick people with interesting lives.
They had a half interesting life.
I guess. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I'm sorry. If you're a fan of these people, cool, it's probably for you. I just was completely indifferent to anything that happened.
Yeah, that's fair. Not the most interesting biography story, but
And it's just so generically made.
yeah. Like this first Christie, what do you think?
I found Christie's story much more interesting.
Yeah.
I think this was a higher budget movie than Christie, and it showed. But I mean, neither had like great cinematography or anything. This one was definitely higher budget, but it still looked like garbage. It still looked like generic. It looked like a commercial, you know, like nothing about it looked interesting. It had a bigger cast, you know, like Sydney Sweeney was the only person in Christie, I think, right?
Yeah.
There's pluses and minuses to both. Neither are great movies, but at least Christie was a story that I'm like, oh, I understand why somebody wanted to tell this.
Yeah.
I remember that movie. I'm not going to remember anything about this in 2 days.
I can see why they chose this one, but if it weren't for that very big moment that happens like 3/4 into the movie or so, I don't know that it might have been a couple more decades before they got their documentary.
I don't think we ever would have gotten one.
Listen. As you started out saying you were going to eventually run out of people to make documentaries on.
That's
no,
fair.
we're not. We'll get around to this.
That's fair. It's just, I don't know, man. I know people. I know people with more interesting lives than this. At least I think they're more interesting than this. I don't know. It's cool and all that they pursued this path and all.
Yeah.
They were artists. Kind of. You know, I mean, they're just impressionists. Kind of. They're not even really doing impressions. And...
They're interpreters.
But it's not like they were ever wildly successful at it.
They were big in Milwaukee.
They were big in a small town, and they were kind of like this niche cult classic thing where like they opened, like we said, for Pearl Jam, and they had this one big sellout show one night, and it's like, I mean, I'm assuming that's true. They didn't talk about any other big moments for them, so I'm assuming that's actually the peak of their career. It's like, you know how many people that is? Like, there's so many people that had one nights of glory, you know, and like, that's cool and all, but like, we're not making movies about all of them.
Yet.
Is that worth making a movie about?
Apparently.
All right, we're going to get into spoilers real quick. I don't know how much we have to say, but we're going to say it anyway. What must be said will be said. So, if you don't want anything spoiled, you should click away. Go watch it if you really want to. Come back and we can talk about it then. But don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe. Thanks. Bye. So, spoilers.
The real-life son, Michael Sardinia Jr., said,
Sure.
"My father's rolling in his grave right now."
Cool. Go on.
Okay, so this is...
Wait, he had a son?
Yeah, this is the thing. He had a son, and she's the stepmother, as they're saying here. So, like, they just wrote him out completely.
I'd be pissed too.
They received what he describes as a pathetic $30,000 to serve as consultants for the movie, and his existence was purposely cut out of the film, apparently.
Okay. Sounds like he's a better jackass, but
Yeah, I thought this
okay.
would be more interesting than this. I thought it was gonna be like the portrayal was so off, not just they only gave me
They
$30,000.
cut me out and they only gave me $30,000. Shut the fuck up. Get a life.
Apparently, the sister, the real life sister, says she didn't have any contact with the person who played them. They didn't have any contact with anyone else in the cast.
Oh no.
Although I don't know if this is the article or the company, or like the production company, just said like it wasn't stipulated in their contract at all.
Yeah, who gives a shit?
They, I guess they got invited to the premiere, and they were like, they introduced themselves to everybody before calling out Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman as monsters who don't mention his existence in interviews and didn't try to contact him during the filming process, even though he was the most prevalent force in his father's life. The only thing that was true was the love between my dad and Claire. This is the sister now. The only thing that was true was the love between my dad and Claire. She reportedly showed messages from the director of the film acknowledging that there was so much that he didn't get that was accurate.
Okay. So far, I don't care about any of this. I'll be honest.
I thought they'd get into more detail, and they just made it sound whiny.
Yeah, they just sound like terrible people. All right, cool.
Like they could have easily settled the whole research on like set the story straight here. Now I gotta look at other stuff. I found an article that says the true story behind it though, and it's from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So they could be the experts over there.
Wonderful.
Oh, Mike had a quintuple bypass.
I glossed over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just shock myself sometimes. That puts me right as rain, dude. Like that resets my whole system, bro. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it's the fall that killed him. There's bleeding in his brain from hitting his head. He didn't die in the car. According to this, after he and Claire performed at a Madison Mallards game, on the drive home to Milwaukee, he became increasingly ill and was taken to the hospital. They found bleeding in his brain. He slipped into a coma. They performed surgery, but he never regained consciousness.
Yeah, because we had to make it really stereotypical, cliche, and, like every other biopic ever.
Yeah, so it seemed like the fall had nothing to do with, like him not wanting to go to the doctor just didn't seem like it had to do with him.
Yeah,
Neil Diamond.
stuff.
He just didn't want to go to the doctor.
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking during the movie, too. I was like, this is just every boomer man ever. Just not going to go to the doctor.
Yeah. Now I'm kind of curious at, how much extra was off.
I mean...
Did he ever meet Neil Diamond? Now I'm very curious about that.
I don't know, man. They just made it as fucking cliche as possible, dude. The whole thing was just, paint by numbers. It wasn't an interesting story, so they just went, fuck around.
See, that's a lot sadder. I get why they do it, but, wait 10 more years and see if you ran out some other people before you go to this one.
What are you looking up?
I need to find out if the second car was real or not.
I'm assuming it was, but maybe it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yes, she was nearly hit in an almost identical accident, which occurred a few months later.
It makes sense, because, my neighbor, there's a turn right before their house, and people always miss the turn and would go driving right through their fucking fence.
Yeah.
And it happened, once a year. And so I'm sure that was, a situation with their house where it's, there's no warning that there's a turn coming up, it's a dead end. Well, it's not a dead end, but it's a fork in the road, a T-turn. And people just wouldn't turn and go straight into their house. I'm sure it happens a lot. Or, well, maybe they fixed it now, put up some barriers or whatever, but, yeah.
They didn't mention who the second person was at all, because I guess no one cares since nothing happened in that accident. But I guess the first guy was 80 years old.
Damn.
And confused his accelerator with his brake pedal and accelerated around that corner into her.
Hey, when that happens.
The second person, they don't really give any details besides
That's
it was
not what happened
nearly
in the movie, by the
identical
way.
accidents. Yeah. They don't really show...
The first guy was weaving all over the place like he was drunk.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
He came around and then up the...
It looked like he was on drugs or, deliberately did it or something.
Yeah. I
was
thought it was
a
drunk.
horror movie. The way that they framed that, where the car is just it was like it was a monster coming after her.
The second accident, she wasn't outside. They were just both inside the house.
So she wasn't almost hit.
No. They were just both inside the house. It was just virtually identical accidents.
That's what I'm saying. It's just a dangerous road.
Yeah.
Shit happens. You weren't almost hit, you fucking liar. He was whispering help on the stage to his daughter. Fucking bullshit. Movie's so dumb.
Then flipped it around. Help me! Well, the children of the Lord say hallelujah.
You still giving this movie a 6?
See,
Come to the dark side, Justin.
see,
Release your anger.
it's at least a 5.5. But
Oh, come on.
yeah, okay.
It's offensive, dude. I'm thinking a 5 is generous now. This movie's straight up lies and deceit.
It was a 6 before the lies. I didn't expect it to be truthful, but this is a lot. It's kind of all
Because
the
it
big
wasn't
moments.
an interesting story.
Hey, she lost her leg. That was
No.
That was clearly the whole. And they made a comeback, and that's clearly the entire reason we wrote this movie.
Yeah. Crazy. I can't believe she lost her leg in a motorcycle accident and then all of her brothers died. Crazy. She committed suicide. This is a reference to Iron Claw.
God, I was gonna fuck up and say that brother East didn't complain about not being in the movie, but I remembered why.
He died.
Yeah,
He died, Justin. He doesn't complain about anything.
I know.
Yeah, because he killed himself.
Yeah, it took me a second.
Dead. To death. Killed himself to death, Justin.
You know, at least he made it all the way. You know, kill yourself to life, that's a bad move right there. You don't want to do that.
Jesus.
Hey, you set me up for that one.
No, you didn't have to say that. You didn't.
It was hanging there. Yeah, someone had to.
That's not how he killed himself. That's what we had to think. Another stupid true story.
Oh,
Yippee.
truth.
What is truth? Not this. Thanks for watching.